Hi ladies and gentlemen, Morinure here again. This is going to be a video on Adrammelech and Anammelech. So this is basically working with Adrammelech part 2. Long story short, I am going to discuss details regarding pagan entities that were worshipped during biblical times by the Seraphites. Those were a civilization of people that worshipped I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, I think Seraphites, but in any case, you can consult the original article in the original video if you want to know more about Adrammelech. Long story short, he and Anammelech were a group of pagan gods, so a couple of pagan gods that were worshipped in biblical times by a civilization called the Seraphites, I think, or Sarfanim or something. In any case, they were one of these civilizations similar to the Assyrians and the Babylonians and so on. And it is mentioned, there are passages in the Bible, okay. There is one, I don't know if there are multiple, but there is at least one passage in the Bible which denotes their existence, and in which it's mentioned it's loosely mentioned or loosely translated, it is mentioned that they would sacrifice, that this civilization or the inhabitants of said civilizations would sacrifice their children to these two pagan gods, to Adrammelech primarily, to Moloch, one of them also, and to Anammelech. And yeah, and again, you can consult the article and so on. The article will give away enough information and all the information that you need if you want to check for sources and so on. Okay, I just wanted to elaborate briefly for someone watching this video who has no idea who these two spirits are, who they are. So that's who they are in short. Adrammelech is said to rule over one of the Clifforic spears called Samael, named after my beloved Lord Samael. And he appears as, that's within the Cliffot, within the Kabbalah, okay, the Sitra Ara or the Tree of Death. And he is said to appear as a creature with, which is a mixture of a peacock and a human being with with the head of a horse. And yeah, that is pretty much it on Adrammelech. Again, see the initial article or the initial video for Adrammelech if you want to know more about him and what he can do and all of that. This is a video in which I'm going to go into detail about these two, because I discussed the matter, and like I mentioned in the first video, while I was recording, he approached me and he told me that something mentioned is not true. So I'm going to set this straight, because I have read online, this was a good while ago, that it's basically debated on whether this is actually true, and whether, you know, child sacrifices were really made, whether children were really, babies were really burned alive, okay, in these kind of man-made sacrificial coffins or indoor pyres as an offering to them. And the answer is no. Okay, long story short, both of these are pagan gods, so they're thought forms, egregores, that have gained strength within over a period of time. And all the other information that you can find out there, so that includes my article, is correct, as stated by both of them, Adrammelech and Anammelech. These are both two gods that were worshipped by that civilization, the Seraphites. Okay, Adrammelech is the male form, okay, of basically the same entity, okay, or the same concept that these under which these Seraphites practice their religion and worship. And Anammelech is the female form. So basically, it's the Seraphite version of the sun and the moon. Adrammelech is the sun and Anammelech is the moon. Regarding Adrammelech, like I mentioned in the original article, Adrammelech is Jupiterian, despite the fact that he more represents the solar aspects, or that according to the Seraphites, he represented the solar aspects of existence and of life itself, or the solar aspects of the cosmos. But hence him being able to help in a variety of ways, okay? He might be Jupiterian on paper, but he can still aid one in several manners. It all depends on what you need. And again, he also has morals, like I mentioned in the, both have morals, like I mentioned in the Although Anammelech as well is indeed a bit more loose. Both have morals and they restrict themselves deliberately, and they live by an ethical moral code, or they go by an ethical moral code, and they'll only help someone when they feel that that person deserves to be helped and related. That is it regarding Adrammelech. Regarding Anammelech, Anammelech is the opposite. It's basically the lunar aspect of, according to the Seraphite, she was the lunar aspect of existence and of the cosmos. And I have done a background check on her and everything, and yes, she is lunar. She corresponds to 7 degrees in Cancer, stands for overbearingness, which stands for the fact that she can come off as intrusive and as nagging, negatively, as or just as someone that is clingy, you know, similar to Fasago somewhat, someone who is coercive a bit, okay, mildly coercive. It's the phrase I was looking for, coercive. And again, she can help with a variety of things too. Aside from general lunar things, lunar matter, she can help with money too. She has moderately to mildly proper skills in terms of money. She can, again, she can provide someone with some money too, depending on the situation, but that's not a specialty, and it all depends on the situation. But she covers a broad scope of things. It all depends on what you need. Clairvoyance is also up for grabs, and so on and so forth. Okay, and she can help someone really fine-tune his or her senses, okay, and thereby achieve tremendous levels of concentration and focus on what one's goal is, and willpower to combine that with the aforementioned in order to drive a matter home. Okay, in order to achieve success in whatever it is that you want to achieve success in. And regarding her appearance, Anammelech is also appears the same as Adrammelech, but more in a female version. She doesn't have the horse of a head. She looks more, if I had to describe her, I'd say that she looks like an alien, the female version of an alien. Okay, she has some kind of mystique kind of look going on, okay, but she is more grayish in appearance. By mystique, I mean the X-Men's mystique, okay. If you want to know who, if you want to have an idea of who I'm talking about, just Google Mystique from the X-Men. I mean, most of you that are out there, I'm assuming my viewers and so on, they have an idea, okay. Most of us have seen the X-Men franchise, as in the comic books that have been adapted to movies, which are wildly popular, which have been wildly popular. So you're familiar with the character Mystique, you know, bluish woman, very flexible and so on. That's approximately what Anammelech looks like. And now for the most important thing, okay, the whole notion that the children were sacrificed to them is untrue. They told me 5 to 15 minutes ago that that's why Adrammelech interrupted me in the first video, and that's why I also mentioned in the first video that I'll get back to it at some point, which I'm doing at this moment. Adrammelech and Anammelech, both of them have told me that that children were not sacrificed to them. Okay, it's said in the Old Testament, and I quote, they would pass their children to the fire, to Adrammelech and Anammelech, the gods of the Seraphim, or the Sarphanites, or I'm sorry, however you pronounce the Sarphanims, or that civilization that I refer to, and the Seraphites, whatever. In any case, they told me that that's not the case, okay. By passing their children to the fire, it's not meant that they would sacrifice their children by burning them alive in honor of them. No, what the Sarphanites did, okay, what the followers and the worshippers of these two did, Adrammelech and Anammelech, what they did was simply host a fire-based ritual in which they would, for example, pass newborn children to babies, okay, infants. They would have their children, they would host some kind of fire ritual in which they would quickly pass their children over the flame of a candle, or over a flame in a bowl, for example. Let's just say a bowl like a chalice or something, which in which a flame was burning. They would literally just hold their children and go like this, okay? Briefly pass their children over that flame. That's what is meant by the passage. They would have their children pass through the fire. And yeah, Adrammelech mentions too that animal sacrifices were made to them, but the animals were already dead when they were offered to them and cremated, basically in these little statues, in these open areas, okay, like I just mentioned, and underneath their statues, to put it that way, okay, kind of like a drawer, a giant drawer or a bin, similar to a clothing bin or a laundry drawer. Yeah, so that is pretty much it. There is nothing else that these two have told me. So that is it. Again, keep in mind, this is for people, honestly, this is honestly for people that are seriously interested in Adrammelech and Anammelech. Okay? That's what these two are all about. In the beginning, I thought that they were one and the same, but no, they're not, okay? They're not, okay? I thought that Anammelech was just another name for Adrammelech, you know? The same way that Gueric spirits have multiple names, they can be called by multiple names, similar to, for example, Bune can also be called Bime, but she doesn't like that name, she prefers to go by Bune. So yeah, in any case, in summation, to summarize, okay, the Sarfanites or the Sarfanim, that civilization that I referred to, okay, that lived in biblical times, they worshipped Adrammelech and Anammelech, okay. Adrammelech was supposed to, or according to them, Adrammelech represented the sun and all of its properties, and Anammelech represented the moon and all of its properties. So he's kind of like a solar god and a lunar goddess. And in reality, okay, in actuality, Adrammelech is Jupiterian in nature, but he's also an all-rounder. He can help you with a great deal of things. And the same goes for Anammelech, but Anammelech is lunar. She is indeed lunar, like I mentioned. I've already discussed their appearances. Adrammelech appears as, he does appear either as a horse, a black stallion, or as his favorite form. He does prefer that. Mentioned in Colin de Plancy's Le Dictionnaire Infernal. The creature with the body of a man, a peacock, and the head of a horse, and Anammelech as, like I said, the closest way I can describe her is Mystique from the X-Men. That's what she looks like. But as opposed to Mystique, which is green, more greenish and scaleless, Anammelech has no scales and she's more grayish in nature. She looks more alien-like, you know, as an extraterrestrial. That is it. And alright, last but not least, like I just explained to you guys, okay, the passage where it's mentioned in the Bible that that the followers of these two gods, the civilization that worshipped them, they used to pass their children through the fire, does not refer to them literally burning their children or babies or infants alive and as a sacrifice to these two. No. By that it was simply meant that they held a fire-based or fire ritual in which they would briefly, kind of like a christening, okay, an occult kind of christening or a pagan christening, they would briefly pass their children rapidly through a flame or over a flame. For example, the flame of a candle, or just a flame that was lit up in a bowl, and they would literally just cradle their children and go like this, whoops. Okay, and that was supposed to bless these children, and they asked these two, Adrammelech and Anammelech, to keep these children safe and all of that, and it was also symbolic as in honoring them, as in, hey, you know, this whole ritual is in honor of you, Adrammelech and Anammelech. And that is what is meant, and they had a certain say in terms of the lives of these children. Let's see, is there anything else that I forgot to mention? No, so that's pretty much it. Again, other offerings were made to Adrammelech and Anammelech, okay, these two. Other offerings were made to these two, as in dead animals, okay, animals that were hunted and killed then, and they were offered then, and their bodies were then cremated in these tiny drawers underneath the statues of these two, Adrammelech and Anammelech. So they did receive basic offerings, and yeah, that is pretty much it. That's all. Thanks for watching. Bye.